Welcome, I am Zamir Kutser and I will be demonstrating an SSH honeypot today. So firstly, what is a honeypot? A honeypot is basically a decoy system that's designed to firstly lure attackers away from critical subsystems or systems, and secondly, collect information about attackers' activities. The type of honeypot that we'll be implementing today is a low interaction SSH honeypot. This basically means that the functionality of the system has been emulated, and it isn't actually real. This is not as effective as a high interactive honeypot, but for the purposes of this demo, it is definitely sufficient. The goals of this honeypot is to collect information about attackers and the patterns that they use to attack the SSH server. To set up this honeypot is quite easy. You need Python 3 installed on your system, and then the steps are there on the right hand side. The video, there is a zip that will be downloadable in the description. I will provide the link, and then you can just pause the video here to go through all the steps. I have already done these steps, so I will just be demonstrating the system now. So these are the 4 files that are in the zip, and they are all that's needed. Basically, RSA public-private key pair, a honeypot file, which is the socket setup and allows for interaction, and then a Paramiko Python honeypot class just to emulate the login and other SSH functionality. So we will start by running this honeypot on our local IP, and now we'll connect to that honeypot using the VM's honeypot from our system. So here we are provided with the password, so I'll put in Tor, but that didn't work, so root, and okay, we are in. So now as an attacker, we'd like to know where we are, so let's print our working directory, and we see that it's home and root. Okay, what files are there? Interesting. So let's go check out the documents folder just to make sure we're not missing anything else, and then just check what's in there. Okay, so there is nothing interesting in the documents folder, and now let's figure out a bit more about the files in here. So let's output what is in the config folder. It seems like it is just the normal SSH config, and then we'd also like to know what is in users file. This seems to be maybe useful, having another username and password, which we can try later. So now we want to modify the config file, so we nano config to open the editor, but it's not working. We try vim, and maybe all sorts of other commands that might exploit vulnerabilities. After we have done that and decided that nothing is happening, we exit. But now it was already successful. Our honeypot created an admin folder which has the username and also the passwords that were tried, as well as other details about the machine, like the MAC and the SSH version used. The commands log file gets all the information that the attacker entered into the terminal, and this can be used to determine what the goal was of the attacker and also analyzed to determine the patterns. In summary, the 2 log files allow for dual functionality, that we can both see what IP addresses are trying to access our system, and also the ones that do access our system, what patterns they use to exploit our system. The extra records in the login admin file can also be used to exploit the details like the MAC address and SSH versions. And then this honeypot can be easily recreated because of the download. Just to mention, this tutorial helped with the base setup of my scripts, and yeah, thank you very much.